Hi Shubham, good evening. How are you doing?
Yeah, hi Sagar. Lavanya this side.
Hi Lavanya.
Uh, Interview is joining soon. Shall we wait for 5 minutes?
Sure, sure.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi Sai,
Yeah.
good
Hi,
evening.
Sagar.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Okay. Shall we start?
Sure, yes, yes.
Yeah. Let's start with a brief introduction about yourself, the skill stack you've been working on, and what kind of projects you were working on.
Surely. Uh, so Sai, I do have like overall 6+ years of experience into IT industry. Uh, but it wouldn't be completely into development. So I have 1+ years of experience as a React developer in my current organization, which is Sonata Software, wherein we are working in an internal project that they have for managing assets and everything internally. So, wherein I have developed, let us say, the login modules using context and other smaller components. But I haven't, much worked with pure JavaScript, if you say, like purely building any application using pure JavaScript.
Okay. So, you haven't worked on pure JavaScript.
Yes, yes.
You worked only with React.
Yeah, I have I have learned because this React is basically a JavaScript library, right? So
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I know basics of JavaScript, but I wouldn't say I have worked with like purely with completely JavaScript.
Okay. So, which version of React you were working and what kind of modules you have used?
So I am basically working with latest versions of React, like after 16.8, the React hooks basically use state, then use effect, and those arrow functions, ES6 based stuff. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. So if you say about the like component wise, I've used context API and Redux I have used for my own practice, but not in the real project, as we can have the concept of it, using it. And also I have used routing for few of the pages which I had developed components for making them available in the routing site.
Mm. And have you worked with any other modules or libraries within React? Any packages?
I'm not quite sure if I'm getting you. Do you mean like any other library, as in script, TypeScript, or anything other thing like that?
No. In the React itself, you might have been added any dependencies,
Sorry for
any
interrupting.
third-party libraries,
Hello.
npm packages.
NPM purely, I haven't, I would say.
Mhm. So you have integrated APIs, right, with the front end?
Yeah, fetch. Yes,
Okay.
REST API, fetch. Yeah.
So you have used fetch.
Yes, I've used fetch. Yeah.
Okay. Any other uh, libraries like any component libraries like Material UI, Bootstrap?
Bootstrap I've used, but mainly it was CSS that we were working in. So Bootstrap I've tried to practice it myself, like using Grid and all.
Okay.
Sure. Just a second. Could you see me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So at least you have idea of any ES6 features and functionalities.
So, yes, I have been using, like, let's say ES6 has given us features like let, const, arrow functions, right? So we have been using it in our projects.
Okay. So what is the difference between let, const, and where?
Okay. Let, const, on, and where, if we say where and let, almost they both are almost similar, I would say. Right, but the major difference would be that we cannot reassign that let area variable again, whichever variable we are defining with let. But if we are defining a variable with where, we will be able to define it again inside a block. And where does not have any block scope, wherein let has a block scope, and also it has a lexical scope. But I would say let and const, the variable which we are defining with let and const, uh, let's say, if before declaring those variables, if we are trying to call them in our code, it goes into temporal dead zone. Like, the variable is available. If we go into debugger and if we see, the values will be undefined, but it will be, we are getting an error that we cannot use those variables before the initialization. Wherein with where, if we are let's say if we are doing console log of a in the first line, and in the fifth line we are defining a is equal to some value, it will give us undefined value in the first line when we see the first line out. Right. So it will not give us any error. It will mainly go with, I think, hoisting and the scope, lexical scope, block scope, like that. Even for let, in between let and const, I would say, let, if we are defined in the variable with let, we can assign another value, but with const we can never change that one.
So can't change. Is it like no applies for every scenario, every case?
Can't change. See, let will not let you redefine the same variable again. But after removing the declaration part, we can give the values again for the variables which are defined by let. But in terms of const, when it comes to const, we will not be able to redefine the value of it.
Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm sending you a code snippet. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Can you tell me what will be the output of it?
Surely.
I sent you in the chat.
Yes. Okay, call function variable is sum 100. What's the user ID 122 names are 28. Okay, then if flag where sum 200, if flag is true, then sum will be 200. Where sum
If you want, you can share your screen and you can copy into the any editor. Then if you have any doubts or any clarifications on the snippet, code snippet, I can explain you.
Sure, let me do that here. That would be better. Let me know once you're able to see my screen.
Yeah, I'm able to see.
Where did the message packs go?
No, not here. Go to Zoom itself.
So as soon as I started sharing my screen, it just became like this.
Otherwise, the minimize this browser, Chrome.
Okay.
Open Zoom.
Okay, yeah, I got it. If you don't mind, can I open JS bin if that's okay?
Yes. Anything online editor, whatever you are comfortable.
I better take this JS bin. Okay. Okay. Here we are changing the file to some 400. Okay, 200, 300, 400. Some given. Okay. Sorry, this will I will produce the output of sum 400 and edge will become 30.
Why?
Wait a second. Flag is true and this. Okay. User dot edge. By reference we can change it. Yeah, so by this is an object, right? So by reference to the object, like key value pairs, it will allow to change this.
Okay.
Object itself is defined in the global, and where variable is also at defined at the global level, because if function is getting covered up here itself, not at the global, right?
What do you mean by global? The sum, how come the sum becomes the global?
Flag function. Oh, okay, sorry. Flag. Yeah, sorry, it will not become global. It is within the function scope. Yeah, sorry, I missed with the first line. Was missing.
Okay.
Yes, use const user dot edge. This is within this function itself, so it has access to it. Yes. Yes. So I believe that will be the output. Sorry.
So what will be the output?
It will give some 400 because again we are defining like wait,
Okay.
yeah, some will be 400 and user will be user age will be 30.
Okay. And I have sent you a code snip link in the
Okay,
chat.
sure. Let me go back to it. Chat. Okay. This code sandbox link.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You can copy the link and open.
This is not.
So basically, this is a normal React right
Mhm.
now project, simple React. So, and you have provided one dynamic object, JSON nested object. You can see that one, the files, right?
Mhm.
So it's basically the folder structure, the how we will be having folder structure, right? Uh, one folder may have number of folders and number of files. Again, that folder may have again files, folders.
Yes. Yes.
Folder may be empty. That and all. Okay.
Mhm.
So basically, what it says is if it is having items, it's a folder. If it doesn't have items, means it's a file.
Okay.
That's how our folder structure will be there, right? If it is a
Yes. Yes.
folder means it will not own anything, but it may contain again folders and files.
Yes.
Whereas
Yes.
file means it will not have anything. That is the end of tree there. You cannot
Correct.
go. So this is how the structure is. Basically, what you need to do is you need to go through the whole object. It's basically dynamic nested JSON object.
Mhm.
You have to print the folder structure. The folder structure, simply the basic one, something like this. I have sent you in the chat. So if it is a folder and it have any contents like folder and files, the inside what will be have that will start with a space or tab, and again which will be having something again. Then it will have again space and tab. We have to print the name. If it is a folder, folder name, file. If it is a file name, like that.
Okay.
You saw the sample output which I sent you in the chat.
Yes. I'm looking at, yeah.
Yeah, so you understood the question. You can look at the JSON object. This output is just a sample output. This JSON object might be in a different. If you have any doubts or anything, you can ask me. If you did not get the question or any clarifications needed, you can ask me. I will help you.
No, I understood the question. You basically want to display the photo structure,
Hmm.
right, as an output or console, anything.
Hmm.
What I'm thinking is whether to use any uh, method or like is there any specification that you want me to approach this with?
Hmm.
That was the first object. Okay. All right, and this, this. Stop, stop. Okay. There's nothing. All right. So, Sai, you prefer any method that I should follow or anything as such?
No, no, you can follow whatever you want. I have no issues,
Mm-hmm.
but I will be looking for more optimized and the best approach with like no less time taking, less memory usage, the optimal solution. Whatever you can think of, the optimal solution.
Right, right, right. Name as put name as a folder. Then name of the folder. Yes. Okay. That was this. Okay. Create a folder. Okay. Next. Not sure, but I'm sure we can do it with map. This will only yield the first object names that it has.
Have you heard of recursive function?
Recursive functions, I've heard, but I'm not getting it right now.
Okay. So basically, recursive function is we have a function
Mhm.
based on the condition, you will call the same function again. If the condition satisfies, we will call the same function. If the condition doesn't satisfy, we'll come out of the function.
Mhm. If
So here the recursive function is the best way because you are not sure whether you will be having the items or not, and you are not sure how deep the items will go. Like items again, items have items again, items have items and nested. So the recursive function, what we will do is we will map through items.
yes, if items dot length, I think we could do it this way. If items dot length is
Yes.
equal to 0
Then
by strict equality operator, till then the condition has to run. If I'm not wrong, I thought of
hmm,
that in the first way, but the tabular format which we had need to get right, uh,
mhm.
that kind of uh, got messed up. I had thought actually of the looping it through items.
Okay.
So function we can definitely take
If
the.
you want to try, you can try. It's no problem whether you will be getting it right in the right or not. But I want to see how you will try. If even this is not the approach, if you have any other approach also, you can try. We have time.
No, so actually I thought of looping it through map. Basically, map will give us another array, right? Array of objects the same way. But we have a nested. Even items has
Hmm.
the name property, right? So at that point of time, I think the traversing is getting difficult for me, specifically putting in a condition. But yeah, the if condition that one I had thought of putting it through the items way. Okay, let me try that. And then if function takes function of it will take the complete array. So let me do this. That then to files, right? Files. Take the length of an item. Just then equal. Printing object name. I think sorry, uh, I'll leave it here. Right approach. I'm not sure if I'm right or wrong,
Hmm.
but I'm getting stuck at that point.
Okay.
I'm just guessing. I'm not sure, but I think we could traverse through this even using a for loop, right? For of. This is something. Sorry, I wouldn't take much time here.
Okay. So you were using map, right? So
Yeah,
what
yes.
what is the difference between map and for each?
Map and
For each.
for each.
For each.
For each, you mean to say for each loop, right?
For loop, yeah, for each loop.
All right. So if I think it will both even the map function map method will iterate through all the elements in an array, and it will return us with a new array. Like it will not modify the actual array that we have, but it will return us with a new array, a new set of array completely. Like it will iterate through all the elements in an array. I think that's the reason I thought of using map first, but I got confused. And for each also it will uh, it iterate through all the elements in an array physically.
Okay. So what is the basic difference?
Difference is for will directly take an object is what I'm not 100% sure, right? For each loop will take directly the object, but the map will iterate through all the elements.
Okay. And what is the difference between export and export default?
Okay, I think we have an export default. Let's say we have this app function, right? Exported as a default here. So it will basically what it will do is it will export the complete component itself that we have here. We have it in one page, but a usual life we would be making it a reusable component, right? So where we have to use it in another function and keep our main file very crisp. If we use export default this app, it will be exported as a whole component. But if we are just naming that export, if we are just exporting a function like export function, right? So it will be exporting that particular function from that component.
What kind of hooks we have used?
We use state for managing state, and use effect for at the loading state. Like we manage right component did mount situation, right, by giving the blank. Let's say if we have use effect, it will take a function.
Have used any other use ref, use memo?
Yes, I have used use memo, use ref as well, but not much. I would say memo is basically, as per my understanding, like memo is for memoization. Right. Let's say if we are doing the computation of any data, or we need to iterate through any data again and again, then it is basically, caching at some point of time in use memo to improvise the performance of our application, basically. Yeah.
Okay. And what is the difference between a stateless component and stateful components?
Right. So a component, which doesn't manage its own state, the state of that component is not controlled within that component, is a stateless component. But stateful component, if we come across the component itself, it will be managing the and controlling the state, within itself.
And what are pure functions?
Pure functions, yeah, pure function is a function, like, which takes basically they are the higher order functions in JavaScript, which takes a function as a value or an argument and returns a function or value accordingly. Yeah, even we could say that we have closes and callbacks.
What are higher order functions? And can you give me any example?
Higher order function. Yeah, right. Let me save this. Not 100% sure, but let's see if we have a function. Function A and function B, which takes in function A as an argument to produce an output. Not required here. Sorry. Right. So the higher order function, basically is a function like which takes another function as an input, and returns an output like to us, like a variable or another function if we need.
Can you give me any example? No need to write code or anything, but can you, if you have used or if you have read anywhere, any, and where exactly we use higher order functions or higher order components? Where exactly we use this?
In terms of like a higher order component, I could give definitely see. Let's say if we take our example of our app.js itself, okay, so and we have multiple components which needs to be rendered. and app.js will be responsible for taking in we will be importing those components, the different components which depends or which has a dependency on app.js component, right? And those rendering within an app.js known as the child component, it will be also known as parent component, and a higher order component itself, like which is taking different components within its cycle and rendering them conditionally.
Okay. So I have sent you one chat in the. So it's basically I want you to write a function which takes input string and it
Mhm.
gives me an output string, which is basically reverse of letters of each word.
Now each word, okay.
So if you see that if you take input as my name is Sagar, it will
Mhm.
reverse my as ym, name as emane. So you can see right, the word is reversed,
Right,
not the
right.
sentence, not the whole sentence. So I want you to write a function which will take input and gives me output.
Sure.
Have you worked with the promises?
Sorry.
Promises?
Yes. While like in within Fetch, I have worked basically with the promises in React. Like in Fetch API, it will give you there are three stages, right? In promises, whether it's pending or rejected or successful, and based on that, we would be performing the further operations with it.
So first, I want you to this function logic. Okay. Once you are done,
Hmm.
then I want you to write that function as a promise. Call that function as a promise.
Okay.
First, write the function. Let's see how it goes. The
Sure.
logic. But you understood the question, right? It will
Right,
take
right.
in.
Understood. Like it has to be reversed as a whole.
Yes, yes.
So, so function let ref, right? Okay. And this is DHIC137 function. Let ref string has to be reversed in a manner. Uh, okay, I don't think I will need this function as of now. I can directly do this currently. Str reverse of the string. I'm just checking one thing. Okay, that is okay.
Yes, you can think whatever the approach you want, but try to make it is like no the optimal approach, the
Yeah,
best way, which takes less time, complexity, and less memory.
yeah, sure. Reverse. String of reverses function. This first I have to split it, then I have to force it, then I have to join it. Okay, right. So split with this, then reverse, and to join. But no, split join. Let's see if this is right. This is it has broke it down, but why am I not? Complete this person to this. It word by word. We split the words again. This is going to be about split reverse. We have to join it first, right? This. Okay, this word needs to be splitted word and then it reverses the word. Then it has to join that word. Uh-oh. Join. To join now. Sai,
Yeah.
sorry, but when I'm reaching this point, it is it is reversing the whole thing actually. I'm not able to get it to reverse the uh, you know letter by letter, the word by word point.
So when you split,
Hmm.
what parameters you can pass? When you give the codes,
Hmm.
what exactly it means?
By space, like whenever there is an empty space, right?
Okay.
It will take that. Yes.
No, it is not space. You haven't passed anything on that. It's not space. If you give space, that will be different between the codes. There is no space right now.
Okay.
Currently, what it does is at every character, it splits. So if you want to split by word, you have to give the space.
Okay. Basically here and then join it. Yeah. Okay.
So now what happened? Each word like no splitted and came back, right?
Currently, I think it just came as Sagar is name. My yes,
Yeah,
but
each
it
word,
is in a reverse order. Yes.
yes. So now what you need to do after split? Now you have just remove the reverse and join everything. Just remove, just till split you keep. Remove the dot.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm. Now check what you will get the reverse. See, now you got each words in a array.
In an array. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So now what you need to do? You need to just now you have array of words. On each word, you have to apply the reverse method.
Word. So basically, even if I do str.reverse or rev.reverse, it would be the similar if I do reverse here.
Okay. Okay. Now do one thing. Again apply split. This time without the space.
Oh, okay, again split. Okay. I think. And it's a string right here.
Yeah. Now check the output.
Split that. Dot split is not a function as it says.
Okay. So now you got array of words. Then you want to split. Open split is not function. Which word you got?
Split. Okay. If we do this, what it does. I think I was some point I was in. Let me go back to the previous thing. I got a point by what you said. By the space. Okay. Now if I again split it with space within it, it says yes. Okay. Then I have reverse it again. Join reversing it with this. Sai, you were right.
Hmm.
Yeah, this space part, I was what earlier I was doing is I was not considering the space that we had between the words, right? Uh, so now if I give it with a space, similar first one is first string up to join is completely if we do that, if we comment this much
Okay,
more.
you are doing the whole thing again. So still you are using, I think, more split and more reverse.
Yeah.
You can use again other functions as well, like similar to map or any function like for each or anything as well. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. Let's. Yeah.
This is what the output I get.
Yes, yes.
So that
That
is
will work.
okay now.
So, have you worked with any validations or any such things, forms?
Uh, Forms, basically, I've worked with basic forms like getting the user input and handling those inputs based on the event handlers that we create within our components. And for
Okay.
the login which I had developed, I had picked up from the Firebase API. So wherein we had direct auth functionality of Firebase that we used for
Hmm.
validation part of the email and the password length and everything. Yeah, but solely if I want to develop, definitely I'll have to develop it based on the we'll have to check if the email string is consist of at the rate and dot, and then the domain, like if we are not very specific about the domain, that we could go with the validation of at the rate and dot if the email consists of it or not. Based on that we can validate the email. Yeah.
Okay. Have you used any testing frameworks or anything?
Solely I haven't. I tried my way around with jest. You could say I'm still in midway of it, but yeah, I just need to get the hang of it yet. I'm not sure 100% on it. Yeah.
Okay. So, can you name any packages you have used in the your project? Any npm packages?
NPM packages.
So you might have package.json and you might have some dependencies and stuff, right?
JSON, definitely. JSON we have used. Right. Uh, I'm not 100% like what it is called. The name I'm literally confused right now. But on the websites we will be having certain things, right, where we have a scroller kind of images.
Hmm.
I'm not sure what it is called. Yeah. Um, Maybe. I'm not sure of the name. Yeah, but not
Okay.
with more raw.
Okay. Have you used Axios, Moment?
No. No, I haven't used Axios.
Okay. Okay. I'm done with the questions. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I'm not sure. Let's hope for the best. But anyhow, I would like to know, like, uh, currently hiring is happening for the ongoing project or a project that needs to be built on from scratch. How what sort of an opportunity? I would definitely love to understand that.
Mhm. So I'm not sure completely about the project, but
Mhm.
it is ongoing project. There
Okay.
are already few developers are already working on the product. So it's in no, it's already started and it's already going. But I'm not exactly sure what kind of work they will do, what kind of product they are do. That and all you can discuss with the HR and the team, and just like now validate your skill set and analyze what kind of knowledge and skills we have, how suitable you are. Project wise, I do not have any idea.
Understood, understood. But do we have any opportunity to learn? Let's say definitely this opportunities we will have more and more. But also I wanted to understand the backend side.
Backend is also again on the JavaScript, Node.js.
Okay, not
Okay.
just yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
But
Basically,
again, internally, again, there will be stack, right? MongoDB or what kind of
yes, yes.
works and
Mongo, Mongoose. Yeah,
um, so even that the whole tech stack, I'm not aware. But everything is Java on the JavaScript end.
sure, sure, Sai. But Sai, I would like to, I would really like to hear your feedback based on our discussion. If I'm lacking anywhere, definitely I was getting stuck. Uh,
Yes. So the thing is, I know you came from a different background, and currently you are on the developer. Before that, you were working on some analyst and other stuff. So when you started to go into the development, it's just not rely on the frameworks and libraries like React or Angular. Okay, go from the basics. JavaScript. You have to get the grip on the JavaScript.
mhm.
Okay, because after 10 years, 15 years, there might be a new framework might come. Already there are many frameworks. So that and all will be keep changing, and even whatever even the React 2 years back it's class components, now it came again functional components and everything, right?
Yes, yes.
So even frameworks also gets updated and we have to keep learning those. These are basically theoretical kind of stuff, and how to use, where to use, what the constraints and stuff. But at the end, they are using JavaScript, so you need to have the grip on the JavaScript. Then only you will be able to decide, okay, where I can use which function from the React, or what kind of function I can write, where I can use higher order function, where I can wrap the components, or I can make other utility functions or stuff. That and all you will be able to figure it out when you have how JavaScript works, what kind of things you can make use of JavaScript. So
Mhm.
this you will get when you practice on the JavaScript, just not the theory or the frameworks or the libraries, but by solving problems, by
Yeah,
knowing
algorithmic ones. Yeah.
data structures and algorithms. There will be many. It's not necessary like to go big questions or anything, but medium range, easy to medium range questions. Because as a front end and as a JavaScript developer, you will not required to go behind, and you are again you are not pure developer before. Now you became since last 2 years or anything. So if you
Yes.
start, if you start looking and starting with the easy coding problems and this stuff, so gradually you can improve. Then you can, once you have 4 5 experience in the development side, then you can go little bit more and little bit more. So
Yes, yes.
nowadays no one even asks the questions on the React or anything, because that is something you can learn and easy if you know JavaScript.
Correct,
So
correct. Understood. Yeah.
concentrate more on coding problems, JavaScript functionalities, features, stuff like that.
Sure, sure. Yeah, but as you said, yes. So earlier I was into different things. Uh, I was familiar with JavaScript, from ServiceNow. Earlier in the past, I have been into ServiceNow support, network support as well. Yes, but uh, you're right. So taking into consideration, I got a chance into internal movement, and then I switched. Yeah, I need to. But anyhow, I'm doing that as well. But yeah, thank you so much for your feedback.
See,
I will really work on it. Yes.
yeah, working in a project is different, and attending any coding test or interview is a different. For coding things, you need to get the grip. So keep practicing on the coding stuff, solving small problems, and going gradually the more difficult levels. Then you will reach there. See, React, we have idea. That is no doubt or anything. You work 1.5 years or 2 years. You learn stuff from your own. That and all fine. But this kind of like no, because everyone expects you to do some coding, do
Yes.
solve some problem if you are given. That's how we validate, we estimate the skills, like what kind of developer we have, and what kind of knowledge we have, how good you are. These and all, because I cannot give a React project and work on. I can simply give something like the folder structure or some JavaScript coding test or something. By that, I can like evaluate you and think how much you know.
Yeah, understood. But in day-to-day life, like we might have come across, but not a certain problem or a certain structure solution that we need. Yeah.
Yes, that's how working on a real project, and that's how we evaluate candidates. Just not us. Every company evaluate candidates like that only. They will give you some problem statement and ask you to solve, do some coding.
Yes. Sure, Shai. I think that will be all from my end. But thank you so much for your feedback. Yes.
Yep, yep. Thank you, Sagar. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Same to you. Thank you. Have a good day.